Hello again and welcome to Ghost Cinema's new player guide for the AK200. This assault rifle is a very hard rifle to get set up correct. I'm going to run you through an easy control setup, and I found it to work very well on the following match that I played, so much that I just used the first clip that I took. Now, again, I'm just going to do this setup really quick because most of this stuff is basic after you get the hang of it, but this particular rifle, you don't really change much around. The first thing you're going to want to do is throw that fixed stock on there, again, because the fixed stock does bump the control up for these rifles significantly. Then you can play around with your optics. You can either use, any of them really, but I don't like the Russian tack scope, so I go with either the red dot or the hollow sight. And the hollow sight is a bit much for this rifle sometimes, so I think I'm going to stick with the red dot. Maybe the hollow. It's got a little bit more zoom to it. I guess we'll go with the hollow. Alright, looking at your trigger, you got three choices on this gun. You got the match trigger, semi-auto, and the full auto, but I'm just going to throw the match on there because single shot this gun doesn't really do much. Magazine is again your choice. I however, stuck the armor-piercing mags on this. It only gives it a little bit more power. It's still going to kill on 3 bullets up close. It's a rather heavy-hitting rifle. Again, you can use whatever mags you want with this one. There's really not much difference in this particular weapon. The only thing that doesn't work with it is if you use a folded stock and the tape mags, it won't work together. Just going to run the angled foregrip again. Neither of the bipods. We don't have enough ammunition to run through them. This is one of the few ghost weapons I can say you can undergas. Most of them need a higher rate of fire to contend with some of the ghost weapons just because they have such a high rate of fire. And my favorite barrel is usually the short barrel, just because I like having that little bit of extra maneuverability, even if it does drop my range a little bit. Now, this gun has a bit of recoil, but with the way that I set it up, it's what's called a control build. This gun is 98% control because we took off the standard barrel and shoved it to a maneuverability barrel rather than a range. Usually, for some reason, range seems to be more controlled. Just going to jump right into the game here. This game started out, I thought this was going to be a lousy game. The AK200 and me have a long history together of not liking each other, but it really pulled through in this game, and I ended up getting a unbelievable score from my teammate Akio, who was playing with me in this game. And I don't use the sight much on this particular weapon because the L1 aim seems to shine more than the actual sight does. Matter of fact, it seems better with L1 than actually aiming down the sights, even at long range. Not out past 60 meters, but within 60 meters, I just use the L1 or even like that hip fire because it works. Now, what you see me do right here is a trick that new players should get used to. If you are running or coming out of a sprint and you hold down your stance change button and push a direction, you will dive in that direction or you will immediately go prone. This will actually push you very quickly away from a corner, and you can use this to get the jump on a lot of players. I do it occasionally. I haven't been doing it the past couple of videos as much because it's more of an advanced maneuver. It works, but it's not as easy to master as you'd think it is. But that's neither here nor there. Up ahead you can see a guy getting hacked. Whenever somebody's hacking a person on your team, it shows them hacking them being compromised because they're right on top of your teammate. Your teammate can see him. He's trying to call you for help. We ended up shooting that guy. He still got the hack, but we ended up saving the teammate. So, all in all, that was the only good thing about that particular situation.
Point is secure. Enemy forces are trying to destroy our EMP generator.
Here's an example of the of how good the L1 fire is on this rifle, and the fact that you can range people with it, as you saw previously. Yeah, they were going to get that objective, but Mogar, or Akio as we call him on here, I have a habit of calling him that because I've known him from a lot of other things for a while. He ended up taking a position behind the room in that little backyard type thing they got going back there. And he ended up keeping off of there for a while until he ended up getting zapped by a taser. There was another friendly there that said the guy that tased him got shot up pretty quick. And as I said earlier, this rifle just, it pulled out the stops in this game and just started tearing everything that it came into contact with up. I think it's meant for close quarters, even with the control setup and the undergas. It kills so quickly in close quarters that it makes me think it's a CQC gun. I always see it set up as a ranged weapon, but based on what I've seen myself using this weapon, it just seems to do better at close range than any other. Somebody tried to tase me here, and you can see I just immediately ran forward to get away from that taser. I did not want to be stunned away from my teammates that much. If you hear that little sound of the taser going off, just move away. Or, as a matter of fact, don't even try and turn and shoot them until you've moved at least a few steps, because that thing reloads so quickly that you can literally just fire, and before the guy turns around, reload. He's gonna hit you a couple of times, but you're still gonna get tased because it just goes off so quickly. And I didn't get the chance to fire there, but if he would have moved forward a couple of steps, he would have been stunned as well. And as I said in my previous video, if any of you have watched it, if they tase you, they knock you down, they get your data hack, your entire team is pretty much screwed, and everybody's going to have to start off with the deployment again if they die, because you just can't spawn on your teammates. Now, pulling out my taser, I come up behind this guy, tase him, his teammate just spawned. You don't know what the hell's going on, so I shoot him down, check my corners, and then start the hack. There's actually a guy right around this corner firing the vector here, and another one coming around the other side.
We have acquired intel on the enemy.
Who tried to actually tase me. He was out of range, but that's something you guys got to get used to as a new player. If you plan on using that stun gun at all, make sure you get used to the range, because it doesn't fire as far as a lot of people think it does. I've seen it, I don't know, like a couple hundred times, where a new player will be sitting there shooting a taser at me from cover, and I'll just stand there and calmly switch to my sidearm and shoot him in the head from out of his range, because there's absolutely nothing that he can do with the taser from that far away, unless he decided to suddenly sprint towards me. And this game, you'll notice that I was just running around killing a lot of people left and right. This is not my normal playstyle. This is a run and gun. I know my teammates have got my back and got the objectives covered, where I can do my job as the rifleman and let the engineers capture the objectives. My job as a rifleman is to keep them pushed back, to just riddle them with bullets, and keep them away from my engineers. My engineers are my squishies. They stay away from my squishies. And even with the AK200 here, it's a good weapon for it. I don't particularly like the weapon, but it really worked well this round, and it seems to work well on Mill, period. I've had better success with it on maps like Mill, Pipeline, other things, and I don't know how I missed that tase. I know it hit low and next to him, but I guess he just decided to move forward all of a sudden. I still ended up shooting him in the kneecap, so he's still hacked.
We have enemy intel.
I just walk off and let my teammates shoot him there because he ain't getting up. And they just killed Akio. I felt bad, so I shot him for him.
Intel coming online now.
And here's that coordinated kill thing I told you about the other game. Bam, right there. How many points did that get me? 1,000? 1,100 points right there. And the next kill gave me another 50. So definitely try for those coordinated kills if you get the hack. Just hold down your R2, or whatever button you happen to be using. I don't know what it is for Xbox, I don't know what it is for PC. I should probably figure that out so I can put these in my reviews here, but I just never bothered to figure that out. But it's a really good idea to use these systems, because they give you so many more points, and it assigns the closest target to you, so there's no reason not to. You're going to end up finding the closest one to you anyway. He's probably going to walk up on you. And right here, I revived myself using a medkit, because I have a medkit. Hey look, two scouts laying down in their natural habitats. And no, I don't bash scouts, because scout is one of my favorite classes. I haven't been playing it as much lately, and I've been slacking on my scout work. I've been focusing more on the stuff that new players will probably be using, and I'm going to switch to the sniper scout for my either the next video or the video after. I might go engineer, because the shotguns seem to have gotten a little bit of a buff, because they now seem to kill in one hit, and I haven't really played around with shotguns much since I got those classes high. All I know is that my original sniper class was level capped, and I never actually replaced the class. It was a weird glitch where something happened. I had an ACR as both my primary and my secondary, with every attachment in the game attached to it. And whenever I came out of the game, the scout class that I was on, with the ACR with every single attachment in the game on it, was level 0, which honestly made me sad face, because my sniper class I leveled up from day 1. I pre-ordered this game. I'll end up doing an AK-47 and a Mark 14 review as well. AK-47 being one of my favorite weapons for Boat Arc on this, because it replaced the AK200 leveling up, which I loved. Slower rate of fire, heavier damage, more accuracy, but it just seems to work better for me. I've even got the thing overgassed, and it's only firing, I think, like 5, well, not 5, it's like 600 something rounds a minute. So it's definitely not a high fire rate gun. Again, here's some of that L1 aim for the AK200, and it just seems to work better. I don't know what it is about the AK200's L1, but it just seems to have either the right rate of fire for it, or just enough to keep it from bouncing around too bad. And it just seems to work. Yeah, that scout kept downing me there. I feel like I'm spawning in the enemy deployment a lot with this game. I don't know if there's just a guy... I think there is a guy just camping around back there. It's definitely not an alternate deployment spawn, because they're not really killing us enough to do that. But here's another thing for you guys, for you scouts out there that like to sit tight and watch people's areas. If you kill somebody as a scout and you don't move, this will happen to you. And look, your little buddy right there, his situational awareness is 0. If you hear somebody being tased and you're alone with your team, move, or turn around and shoot the guy that tased him, because you're probably going to die shortly after. That sniper was not in cover, he was not in camo. There's no way I wouldn't have seen him even if he was in camo, because that's just how it is. Well, wrapping this video up with a bit of stun gun work to show you exactly how it works, and this is almost at the max range of the stun gun. I wanted to let everybody know that the qualities of the video will improve. Please subscribe. We need subscribers to keep the channel going, and we're going to start taking requests for various loadouts for various setups. And again, this is Ren with Ghost Cinema from Team Mike 1 Juliet. So see you in the next episode.
Our forces were victorious. Well done.